Okay, here I'm going to do a cross contour drawing. So I drew in the rose, or I sketched in the rose, and cross contour is when you make lines across the surface of the object that you are drawing to show um, to show dips and curves in the surface. The lines are not actually on the object. So this is the rose, and I'm going to start with this little thing it's standing on. So I'm going to make some lines going like this because it's curved right here and it's curved right here. Okay, so that's cross contour, and I'm going to do it to the whole surface. So I'm going to look at this leaf here, and or petal, I'm sorry. No, it's actually a leaf. It's a fake ceramic leaf, but still a leaf. So when I'm showing you this curve, I'm actually creating some depth in the drawing because I'm showing you how it's kind of curving and dipping on the surface. You can erase and stuff if you don't like your lines. You can do as many or as few lines as you want. Like some drawings are including cross contour with other things, and some drawings are just cross contour. Some people have a lot of lines, some people have a few lines, and some people have variations in the lines. So I'm going to go here. Again, these lines are not on the object, they're lines that you're making to show the curve of the surface of the object. So this is pretty straight with a little bit of bending, so I'm making these pretty straight. Let me come over here. So this is a curved top of a petal. Let's go this way. You can go in whatever way you want. I'm just trying to find the way that shows the most amount of curve. You can do it in one direction or two directions. I'm going to go this way on this part. So that's kind of adding some depth and dimension to the surface. Here it's okay. So I started this, but the video got messed up. So I drew in the rose and I started doing cross contour lines in one direction. What I've done so far, so I did the rose and the outlines of the petals and the leaves, and then I started doing cross contour lines that go around and around here. and coming up. So what you're doing with these lines is showing the curve or the indentations in the form, and that's adding depth to the form, showing us the surface on the depth of the form, showing us the directions that it's curving. The lines are not actually on the object. They're like lines that are showing me the surface of the object. Um, I'm going to keep drawing here so you can see how I would be doing it. So I'm going to this surface. These lines are pretty straight. I'm going to go back in and darken with a pencil. And I'm going here to this surface. I'm trying to go the up and down direction, and later I'll go in another direction. These lines are pretty straight. And this is a petal, so the inside of the petal is kind of curved. I'm trying to get these areas in. And this is the inside of a petal as well. It kind of, well, I'm going to do that. I'm just trying to find the outer curve of the petal. And then here it curves in. Here it's curving. So I'm trying to kind of portray the way that the petal is curving with lines. You can have them any distance apart. I mean, mine are kind of equal. You can have some areas that are more dense, like say you wanted to do a couple extra right here just for variety, right? You can have some areas where they're closer together and some areas where they're farther apart. And this is kind of, I'm going to do another direction on top of this. So you can do cross contour in one direction or two directions or more. Mostly I see one and two directions. So these lines are coming down. And they're curving. Okay. So, I mean, that's okay, but that might need a little bit of variety. First thing I'm going to do for this drawing is I'm going to re-outline the petals so they're darker than the cross contour lines, because right now you can't, I mean, it's kind of all jumbled together. People say that cross contour lines are kind of like a topographical map showing you how a landscape is rising and falling. So I'm using a 2B. And I was using that before, but I wasn't pressing as hard. And I'm kind of doing the outline of the form. just to differentiate between the cross contour lines and the actual outline or the contour line. That looks a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to do this bottom part. So this is curved here and it comes to a curve on the bottom. There are some lines that I sketched in that you can still see that I tried to erase. Okay, so now I'm just going to look at these lines and see if I want to add any more. I may darken them, but not, I'm trying not to make them as dark as the outline or contour. Again, these are cross contour, showing you the surface. I'm trying to make some variety so they're not evenly spaced. And that's looking a little bit better. Again, you can use cross contour in conjunction with other things. So sometimes people just do cross contour, but sometimes they use it with also shading or perspective. I'm kind of changing those a little bit. These I don't know if I like these right here, but here. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not, I mean, that's an okay cross contour drawing. It's kind of showing you the curves of some of the leaves or petals. I think this one looks pretty good in terms of cross contour. This one is in one direction. I'm also going to do one in two directions on top of it because I want to get more of a curve because I'm only showing you a curve in one direction. So I'm going to start out down here. So I'm just going in the opposite direction to show the contour. You can do a lot or a few lines. Now I'm going to go on to this leaf. So it's going to give us a deeper understanding of the curves of the surface because it's showing two directions. And I mean, you could do it in any unlimited number of directions, but then it might start looking a bit weird. And like here, this looks straight because it's going straight in this direction, but it's kind of curving around. So that's why I'm adding the other layer of lines to kind of show what I wasn't able to show in one direction. That one, I don't know if that turned out so well, but let me try it again on this one. So again, this one is curving, but these lines are straight. So I want to show the curve of how it's looking on the side. And here, I'm trying to do a variety of widths apart from each other. So they're not all like exactly the same distance from each other. Sometimes I'm doing that, sometimes I'm not for variety. Put one more right here. And here it's going down. These lines are kind of straight. And then here it's dipping in. How am I going to show that? That looks kind of weird, but I'm trying to show that it's kind of dipping in. I don't think it's showing that really well, but that's what I'm trying to do. And here, let's go this way. So there's a lot of different directions you can go in. I'm trying to do kind of almost perpendicular to each other, but again, it's changing because the lines are curved. But you could also do the lines at diagonals to each other. I'm trying to show the dip in here as well, but I may be having some trouble doing it. See if I can get this curve here. Oops. Take your time with this. You may have to do a lot of erasing in practice. And here, trying to show the shape. Sorry, I dropped my pencil. Okay, and here. So now, do you want to see, like, do you like the cross contour in one direction more or two directions? So I'm trying to show a dip again. Guess I'm going to show it by going up. Yeah, I should have done it up here. I did it down. Oh well. So it's trying to show that it's curving and dipping. And you get better at this by practicing. Um, if I went up here, yeah, I'm going to try this one again. I don't like the way that one came out. That doesn't really look correct at all. So I'm going to put these lines back in here. And then I'm going to make the curves going up. I mean, this is not perfect, but at least you're getting the idea. And I'm trying to show that the leaf is like dipping in, but it doesn't really read that way. But this is a practice thing, so you need to practice, practice, practice. Okay, so that's cross contour in two directions. You can start out doing one in one direction. This is kind of complicated. You don't have to pick something this complicated when you're starting out. Like you could start out with a sphere or a ball. I just wanted to do something complicated so you could kind of see. I'm going to come in with a black colored pencil and kind of define again some of the lines. Whoops. So this is a black colored pencil just to get the dark that I couldn't get with the regular pencil. It's a Prismacolor. And I'm doing the outlines, and I may do a couple of the inner lines in black just to give it some variety, right? We don't want all the lines to be the same. We want them to be different. I didn't do this part. I know I should have done that in pencil, but I just had the colored pencil in my hand. Again, this is not showing shading, and these lines are not on the object. They're fictional lines that you're creating to show the contour, kind of like this the way the surface is going up and down, curving and moving. And that's giving the drawing some depth, but not as much as perspective or shading, but some. It's kind of showing you what the surface is like. And I mean, I don't think it's great, but it's an okay for a demo. I hope you understand the concept. Um, I'm going to do a couple of these lines in the black colored pencil just to give it a little kick, like just to add a little bit of variety to it. But I'm not pressing as hard as I was pressing on the outline. Oh, I forgot to do the other. Hold on. Need some more right here. I'm going to do one more of these. And I don't like these lines here. I know I keep messing with the drawing, but that's a sign that you're working on it and that it's good. And I mean, I don't show you everything I do. It took me a really long time to block this in. But I want these to be more curved this way. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to erase this. In drawings where I'm not videotaping, I can mess around with them endlessly. There we go. That was a little, I was just trying to curve that more. I'm just trying to, make some of the areas pop out. And I don't like these, so I'm going to curve these lines in the other direction. There we go. I like that better. That line looks a little bit weird. I need one more line right here. It still, it still could use some editing, erasing, and redrawing, but like I don't like these lines right here as well. Hold on. It's kind of hard to represent like what's going in and what's going out. So it's that looks a little bit better. And maybe one of these darker. I know I keep going. I'm gonna stop soon because I feel like I'm rambling on and on, but that's the basics of cross contour. You can do one in one direction and a two direction on top of it, or do another one in two directions.